Fulfillment at work is a right, not a privilege. Everyone deserves to feel inspired and contribute to something greater. Leaders must create an environment where people feel part of something bigger. Employees must become the leader they wish they had. We must take responsibility for how others feel when working with us. Sinek developed the concept of why and the golden circle to help people and organizations find purpose and passion. His TED Talk and book Start with Why spread the idea, but he realized he needed help to reach more people. David Mead and Peter Docker joined Sinek to help put his ideas into practice and scale. They developed ways to help groups discover their why. This book, Find Your Why, provides practical steps for individuals and organizations to discover their why. It builds on Start with Why by showing how to actually find your why. The book is meant as a guide. Readers should adapt the process to suit them, take notes, and be patient in discovering their why. The goal is to spread these ideas and create change. The key message is that everyone can and should find purpose and meaning in their work. This book provides the tools and guidance to make that possible. In short, the book exists to help individuals and groups discover their purpose and passion by finding their why. The authors aim to spread this message to create positive change in how people view and experience work. The passage outlines a framework for finding one's why or purpose in life and work. The story of Peter and Steve on the plane illustrates how discovering one's why can lead to passion and fulfillment. Simply learning what a person does is not enough to understand their motivation and inspiration. Asking follow-up questions to understand why they do what they do can reveal their driving purpose. The authors define fulfillment as something deeper and longer-lasting than mere happiness. Happiness comes from liking certain activities or accomplishments, but fulfillment comes from loving one's work and connecting it to a greater purpose. The example of loving one's children even when one doesn't like them illustrates the difference. The story of Steve shows how finding and articulating his why, which was making a sustainable planet for future generations, gave him a sense of fulfillment that lasted for over 20 years. The passage outlines a 7-chapter framework for discovering one's why. Recap of Start with Why and the benefits of knowing your why. Overview of the why discovery process. Discovering your why as an individual. Discovering your why as a team or group member. Recommendations for all readers. Recommendations for all readers. Recommendations for all readers. Additional information to help with questions. The key message is that discovering and connecting to one's why or purpose can lead to a lasting sense of passion and fulfillment in life and work. The frameworks and recommendations provided can help individuals and teams undertake this process of self-discovery. The Golden Circle is a model that can help explain why some leaders and organizations are able to inspire where others aren't. It has 3 levels. What? This refers to what a company does or makes. All companies can describe what they do. This forms the outermost circle of the model. How? This refers to how a company is different or how it uniquely meets the needs of its customers. Not all companies can clearly articulate how they are different or unique. This forms the middle circle. Why? This refers to the underlying purpose, cause, or belief that motivates a company. Very few companies can clearly articulate why they do what they do. This forms the innermost circle of the model. Starting with why is crucial because it inspires people to action and builds loyalty. Customers are more likely to connect emotionally with companies that articulate their why. The why taps into the limbic system of the brain, which governs decisions, behavior, and emotions. The what taps into the rational neocortex. So leading with why has a bigger impact. Why provides a source of differentiation. What a company does is usually easy to replicate. How it does things can also often be copied. But a company's underlying purpose or belief is hard to duplicate. Why gives people a sense of belonging or being part of something bigger. This creates passion and loyalty. The key is to put into words the underlying feeling or purpose that motivates you. This is hard but can be learned. Doing so helps bring intention and clarity to decisions and actions. It helps inspire others. In summary, the Golden Circle model provides a powerful framework for building purpose-driven businesses and careers. At the core is understanding and articulating your why. Know your why. The opportunity is to build the perfect company for each other. Discovering your why gives you purpose and inspiration. Why in action. A job candidate started her interview by sharing her why to help people be the best version of themselves. This allowed her to connect with the interviewers and land the job. The why is a tool with many uses. It can be used to ace an interview, inspire a team, guide a new venture, or transform a culture. When you know your why, decisions become easier. It allows you to see where you fit. Find the right fit. 2 executives knew not to hire a candidate despite his qualifications because he did not share their why. Though it caused short-term pain, they held out to find someone who fit their culture. Business has tangible and intangible parts. The why helps provide clarity to the intangible parts like vision, inspiration, and trust. It helps in hiring, strategizing, and communicating. The why inspires and gives purpose. Discover your why. Knowing your why injects passion and purpose into your work. It is not a formula for success, but a tool for building an inspired company and career. The why gives meaning to the how and the what. In summary, knowing and sharing your why with your team and organization can transform your career and company. It gives meaning, purpose, and inspiration, which leads to success and the building of something greater than yourself. Knowing your why, your purpose, cause, or belief, can help motivate and fulfill you. It helps entrepreneurs build passionate teams and hire the right people. For individuals, it renews your passion for your work. For teams, it binds people together. Your why comes from your origin story, your life experiences, influences, challenges, and triumphs. To find your why, share detailed stories from your past with a partner or group and look for recurring themes. Express your why in one simple, clear sentence. 2. Your contribution, so that, your impact. Your contribution is what you actually do to achieve your desired impact. It's not a product or service, but the thing around which all your decisions and actions align. A good example is Simon Sinek's why statement. To inspire people so that, together, we can change our world. The impact is a broad goal. The contribution, to inspire others, gives Simon's work direction and focus. Everything he does, from writing books to giving talks, aims to inspire people so they can make positive change. The to *** so that *** format works for people and organizations. When guided by a clear why, you show up focused and motivated. To find your why, you need to go through a discovery process. This involves finding a partner. Choose someone curious who will listen and ask good questions. They don't need to know you well, but should want to help you find your why. Getting your partner up to speed. Have them learn about the why concept and their role in the process. Picking a time and place. Find a distraction-free spot and block off enough time, likely a few hours. Gathering your stories. Come prepared to share meaningful stories from your life. Focus on specific moments. Sharing your stories. Tell your stories while your partner listens actively, asks follow-up questions, and takes notes. Identifying your themes. Look for recurring ideas, feelings, and phrases in your stories. Connect them into themes. Drafting your why. Use your themes to craft a why statement summarizing your purpose, cause, or belief. The role of the partner is to listen, ask questions to uncover deeper meaning, identify themes in the stories, and ultimately help draft the why statement. The key is going beyond surface details to understand the motivation and emotion in the stories. An effective partner avoids biases, stays focused, invites the person to share more, pays attention to cues, and asks specific follow-up questions. The end goal is a draft why statement to serve as a filter for life decisions. The stories people share reveal who they truly are. Look beyond superficial expressions of feelings to find the underlying meaning and significance. Ask clarifying questions to uncover the real reasons why specific stories matter. Pay attention to recurring themes, emotions, and phrases across stories. These provide clues to a person's why. Also look for indications of the contributions they make to others and the impact those contributions have. These build into the why statement. Take notes with a vertical line down the middle of the page. Put story details on the left and feelings, interpretations, and recurring themes on the right. Underline or highlight important themes and phrases. Note contributions and impacts for each story. Choose a quiet, distraction-free place to meet in person. Schedule at least 3 uninterrupted hours. Phone or video can work, but in person is best. There are 3 steps: share stories, identify themes, draft the why statement. Complete all 3 in one sitting for the best results. Ask open-ended questions, avoid questions starting with why, and don't be afraid of silence. Open-ended questions elicit more detail. Why questions are hard to answer. Silence gives people time to gather their thoughts. The discovery process requires curiosity, patience, and a desire to help your partner. Take it seriously, for them and potentially for yourself. Gathering stories is an important first step to finding your why. Look for stories that show you at your best and that shaped who you are. Write down at least 5 impactful stories from your life. 2 methods for gathering stories. Peaks and valleys, plot happy memories above a line and challenging ones below. Choose the highest highs and lowest lows to share. Memory prompts, answer prompts about influential people, proud moments, pivotal times, etc. Write a line about the memory each sparks. Share the 3 most impactful stories with your partner first. Let your partner identify themes without prejudging the outcome. You tell the stories, your partner interprets them. Even small stories, like Todd's story of buying lemonade from a little girl, can lead to finding your why. Todd's story showed his urge to help others and make them feel they matter. It led to finding his why, to share with others the feeling of mattering and help them reach their potential. The story summarizes how gathering and sharing stories with a partner can uncover your why, as shown through Todd's experience. Following the process of gathering impactful stories and letting a partner interpret them is key. Todd's why is to ignite people's imaginations about what's possible so that they can find the motivation to do more with their lives. What's magical about Todd's why is that is exactly what happened to him. His imagination was ignited, and he was motivated to do more with his life. To find your why, you share specific stories from your life with a partner. The partner takes notes on the situations, circumstances, and emotions described in the stories. The goal is to uncover who you really are. Share as many stories as needed to identify clear themes. The themes are the recurring ideas, words, phrases, and feelings across your stories. Your partner identifies the themes since they have objectivity that you lack. There are no wrong themes, write them all down. Circle the 1 or 2 biggest themes that inspire you or define you. Choose one theme for your unique contribution and one for your impact. These selected themes become your why statement. The other themes are not thrown out, they are useful later. Your partner writes down all themes because at least 2 stories must connect to each theme. The more stories and themes, the more accurate your why statement. Detail and vulnerability are key. Share stories that reveal feelings and experiences. While not every story must be deeply personal, push your comfort zone. Specificity is key. Share details about thoughts, feelings, and emotions, not just actions or events. The why discovery requires openness to see patterns. You may share more than expected as you open up. Share stories that shaped you, not what you do or goals you have. Your why statement should capture who you are, not what you want. All stories, whether prepared ahead or remembered spontaneously, can reveal your why. Keep sharing until themes emerge to craft an insightful why statement. Draft your why statement following this format: to your contribution, so that your impact. Write a first draft independently, then share and combine with your partner. The goal is to get in the ballpark, not perfection. Test and refine your why statement. Do the friends exercise? Ask close friends, what is it about me that made you choose to be friends with me? Push beyond surface-level answers to get to the emotional reasons. Look for silence, shift and focus to how you make them feel. Their answers will articulate your unique contribution. Let your why statement sit for a few days. It needs time to cool and set. Review and unpack the words to find more authentic language. Ask if you get the words tattooed on you. Refer back to your stories. Refinement may take weeks or months. Make small tweaks and live with the statement, revising until it feels right. The goal is for it to feel better, not just sound better. Examples: David revised to propel positive change so that people can live a more fulfilled life, to propel people forward so that they can make their mark on the world. The new version was more precise and personal. Refinement makes your why statement more powerful for you, but the words don't need to be perfect to put it into practice. You can make a decision with 30% of the information. The tribe approach is a process to help groups articulate their shared purpose or belief. It can be used for organizations, teams, or any group with common values. A tribe refers to any group with a shared set of values and beliefs. Your tribe could be your whole organization, division, team, or any group you identify with. Nested whys refer to the purposes of subgroups within a larger organization. Teams or divisions may have their own why that complements the organization's overall why. Individuals within those groups also have their own whys. The goal is for people to work in organizations and on teams where they share the values and vision. Knowing your why helps you find the right tree and nest. Some reasons a subgroup may want to articulate their nested why. To inspire their tribe and relate to the organization's why. If leadership isn't interested in the organization's why, subgroups can articulate their own, though not ideal, when a subgroup wants to complement an already articulated organizational why. Before conducting a tribe why discovery for an entire organization, consider doing a personal why discovery with the founders first. Their why will likely align with the organization's. Choose the visionary founder if there are multiple founders. The visionary's why will match the organization's best. The tribe approach is best if the founders are unavailable. A nested why always serves and complements the overarching organizational why. It should never compete with it. Dealing with a dysfunctional organization, focus on a subgroup within the company that has maintained a strong culture and leadership. Helping this tribe articulate their why can influence and inspire the rest of the organization. Success of this tribe can attract others and eventually impact the whole company. If no suitable tribe exists, strong visionary leadership is needed to provide a sense of purpose. The leader does an individual why discovery to find their why and lead based on that. Others will follow. In rare, completely dysfunctional cases, an outside facilitator is needed to diagnose root issues before a why discovery will work. Stories help articulate the why. The story of La Marzocco shows how their why revolves around bringing people together over coffee, not just making coffee machines. Preparing for a tribe-wide discovery. Find a facilitator, ideally someone trusted but objective, curious and able to ask good questions. Don't need a professional, the book provides guidance. Must be able to manage logistics, listen, and create a safe space. Enthusiasm and curiosity matter most. Prepare to make sure the foundation is understood, discover the why, don't create it. It's about who you are, not what you want to become. Invite participants. Aim for a group of 8 to 12 engaged and motivated people from across organization. Provide pre-work to participants, the why discovery process and examples so they come prepared. Secure a space, materials, food, etc. Minimize distractions. Be open to outcomes, the why may be different than expected. Trust the process. That covers the key steps and considerations for preparing and conducting a successful tribe why discovery, according to the summary. Let me know if you would like me to explain anything in more detail. Here is a summary of the key points. Prepare thoroughly by reading about the individual why discovery process. Practice facilitating the process if possible. Invite 10 to 30 passionate, long-tenured participants who represent a cross-section of the organization. More zealots are better. For smaller orgs, invite everyone. Schedule at least 4 to 5 hours for the workshop. Rushing the process compromises effectiveness. Choose a private, distraction-free space large enough for small group work. A circle or horseshoe seating works well. Provide flip charts, markers, and NEA/V equipment. Set up the room in advance. Capture ideas on flip charts. Set up 3 at the front and 1 per small group. The most important things are allowing enough time, inviting the right participants, and choosing a suitable space. If done well, these elements enable an engaging discussion in which participants make their own discovery of the organization's why. To conduct a successful tribe-wide discovery workshop, the facilitator must set the context, 45 to 60 minutes. Have a senior leader introduce the session and its purpose. Share a personal story about why to build rapport. Have participants pair up and share what inspired them to join the organization. Explain the golden circle concept: what, how, why. Provide an overview of the workshop timeline and goals. Run the why discovery process, 2 to 2.5 hours. Lead the 3 conversations to collect stories. Best memories: share a story of your best memory or experience with the organization. Values and impact: share a story that shows what the organization values and how that impacts people. Loss: share how people would feel if the organization no longer existed. Look for themes across the stories to help determine the organization's why. Draft a why statement. Use the themes from the stories to write a draft why statement that captures the organization's purpose, cause, or belief. Aim for 75 to 80% complete. The key is to create an engaging environment where people feel comfortable sharing meaningful stories. The conversations and stories are simple but challenging, as participants must find the words to describe their feelings. Have faith in the process, even if things seem messy or unfocused at times. The end result will be a draft why statement that can guide the organization. The exercise aims to generate feelings and emotions rather than focus on exact words. First, divide participants into 3 teams of equal size for diversity. Have them gather around flip charts. Present each team with a prompt to start a conversation. Do not share prompts in advance. Conversation 1, 20 minutes. Share stories of times you felt most proud of the organization. Focus on emotional, specific stories about people and moments. Capture stories on flip charts. Share 3 to 5 stories per team. Reporting out, 25 to 35 minutes. Each team shares top 2 to 3 stories that resonated most. Ask follow-up questions to generate more details and emotion. Let conversation flow. Conversation 2, 10 minutes for each story. Identify the specific contribution your organization made. Express as a verb phrase, e.g. to /__. Link phrases directly to stories. Come up with 10 to 15 phrases per team. In summary, the key steps are: divide into teams, share emotional stories, identify key contributions, and link contributions to specific stories. The conversation should generate feeling, not just words. Let the discussions flow and ask follow-up questions to generate more details and emotion. The outcome is a set of key contributions linked to memorable stories. Here is a summary of the conversation. The facilitator instructs participants to get into their teams and discuss the question for conversation 3. What did the contributions of your organization allow others to go on to do or be? Teams are asked to refer back to the stories they shared in conversation 1 and think about the specific people in those stories. They should consider what those individuals were able to do or become as a result of the organization's actions. The facilitator reminds participants that the goal is to determine the larger human impact, not focus on metrics. Teams record a sentence or phrase on a flip chart that captures the impact of their contributions. The facilitator provides an example from La Marzacco's workshop. Teams shared stories in conversation 1, then in conversation 3 described the impact of those stories. For example, Story: La Marzocco held an event in 2009 that brought together partners from around the world. A relationship formed between a barista from Serbia and a coffee shop owner from Barcelona. The barista was inspired to open a similar shop in Serbia that became a catalyst for new local businesses. Impact: building the community. Andrea's coffee shop inspiring new businesses. Story: La Marzocco sponsored an exhibition of photos of Tanzanian coffee farmers. The proceeds supported the farmers and raised awareness of their work. Impact: people feeling more valued and fulfilled in life. Elizabeth and the coffee farm. Story: La Marzocco works with a coffee roaster in Mexico and has a policy of hiring based on passion rather than credentials. Emilio rose to become head roaster, lifting his family out of poverty. Impact: people seeing possibility where before they did not. Emilio becoming head roaster. Teams are given 15 to 20 minutes to discuss before reporting out. The facilitator captures impact statements on 2 flip charts, grouping similar ideas. The facilitator then brings together all the output from conversations 2 and 3, positioning the flip charts at the front of the room so participants can see the themes and impacts that have emerged. The next step is for the group to draft a why statement that captures what they contribute and the impact they have. A why statement has 2 elements. 2. Verb/action phrase, what the group contributes. Draw from the verbs and action phrases generated in the conversations. So that, impact, the impact or effect of the contribution on others. Draw from the impact statements generated in the conversations. Split into 2 teams. Each team independently drafts a candidate why statement on a flip chart. They present their statements, linking them to 2 stories that exemplify the living the why. The group may agree on one candidate why statement to carry forward as the draft why statement. Or they may combine the 2 into one draft why statement. This version won't be perfect, but gets them 75 to 80% of the way there. Volunteers can work over the next weeks to refine the draft why statement. The final statement should be simple, clear, and actionable. Free of what's and focus on whys. Express service to others. Written affirmatively in words that resonate. Examples of why statements at different levels of development are provided. Strong examples focus on others, not the organization itself. Weaker examples are about what's, not whys. The process of discovering the why is as important as the end result. The words of the why statement may evolve over time, but the feeling behind them should remain the same. To bring the why to life, reward behavior aligned with the why, evaluate decisions based on the why, and reframe hows and what's in the context of the why. The session ends by discussing ways to put the why into practice and maintain momentum. The why, your purpose, cause or belief, the driving force behind everything you do. The hows, the actions you take when you are at your natural best to bring your why to life. They express how you behave when you are at your best. Your hows are your strengths. They are the ingredients you need to be at your best. Together, they are your recipe for success. Knowing your hows and the hows of those around you allows you to team up in ways that allow you to lean into each other's strengths. Examples of using hows as filters. Seeking out and seizing opportunities where you can make the greatest impact and feel most fulfilled. Using your hows to determine if a new project or opportunity will allow you to operate in a way that plays to your strengths. Adding bullets to clarify what your hows mean in practice. This provides detail for yourself and those you work with. The key is to focus on your strengths and lean into the strengths of others. This allows you to accomplish more together than you could alone. Simon's goal is to live according to his purpose, why, which is to inspire people to pursue the things that inspire them so that together they can change the world. Years ago, a leader approached Simon about helping create an organization focused on valuing people. Simon was initially interested because this aligned with his why. However, upon further discussion, Simon realized that this organization was too focused on quick results and complexity, which did not align with his methods, hows, of taking a long-term, unconventional, and simple approach. Simon ultimately decided not to take on this project because the misalignment between the organization's approach and his house meant it would likely end up being frustrating for both parties. However, Simon provided recommendations for others who may be a better fit. Simon encourages using your house as filters for decision-making. Recognizing tensions or frustrations in relationships or projects can help determine if there are misalignments with your house that need to be addressed. Discussing these openly leads to better outcomes. Many companies have aspirational values that people don't fully understand or enact. Hows are the actions and behaviors people actually take when at their best. They provide clear guidance on what the values look like in practice. Adding color to existing values by connecting them to hows helps give them meaning. The story of Mas X Minos demonstrates how persevering in bringing a vision to life, even when faced with resistance, can lead to success and change. However, as the company Questamers grew, the founders realized they were in danger of losing touch with the purpose behind their original vision. The purpose of articulating hows is to provide guidance on how to execute the why. For Questamers, after identifying their why as to innovate relentlessly in order to create opportunities for everyone, they articulated 5 hows. Break new ground, embrace change, learn with a humble mind, do what is right, work together. These hows reflect the themes that emerged from their why discovery process. To identify their hows, they narrowed their list of remaining themes to no more than 5. They looked for overlaps and either combined similar themes or chose one theme over another. Transformed their themes into actionable behaviors by converting adjectives and traits into verbs. They expressed a preference for active verbs over be verbs. Provided short descriptions for each how to give context on what living that how might look like in practice. For individuals and tribes, the process for articulating hows is narrow remaining themes from the why discovery process to no more than 5. Look for overlaps and either combine similar themes or choose one theme over another. Transform themes into actionable behaviors, hows, by converting adjectives and traits into verbs. Use active verbs and drop gerunds, ing, when possible. Choose words that resonate emotionally. Provide short descriptions for each how to give context on what living that how might look like in practice. Note your what's of the products, services, and activities you offer to bring your why to life. With their why, hows, and what's defined, Questamers is able to start with why in their decision-making and communication. The stories from their why discovery help them authentically share their vision and values. Here is a summary of the key points from the excerpt. Knowing your why is not enough. You have to act on it and share it with others. Sharing your why with others is challenging at first, like learning to ride a bike, but gets easier with practice. A good place to start practicing sharing your why is with strangers when they ask what you do. You can share your why statement, a variation of it, a story, or your vision/mission. Don't get discouraged if you don't get the reaction you want at first. Keep practicing. When sharing with your tribe, an effective approach is to hold a 3 to 4 hour workshop with 50 people at a time. The workshop has 3 steps. Share the experience, review the golden circle, and have 1 to 2 people who participated in the why discovery share how it felt, not just the why statement. Ask them questions to prompt storytelling and discussion. Help others own the why. Facilitate a conversation where others share stories of times they felt most motivated or inspired at work. Look for common themes and connections to the why statement. Help the group feel ownership over the why. Explore new opportunities, brainstorm new ways to activate and spread the why through the organization. Come up with some initial commitments to act on. For the workshop, aim to have eager early adopters attend voluntarily. They will help spread the why to others. If needed, you can invite some who need to get on board, but make sure the majority are enthusiastic. The goal of the workshop is to have others feel ownership over the why, spread excitement about it, and take action to activate it in the organization. Here is a summary of the key points from the passage. The goal of the why discovery process was to articulate the organization's why statement by discovering themes from employee stories. The why statement captures the organization's purpose and reason for being. Share the draft why statement with the group. Explain how it was developed from the themes in the stories. Acknowledge the words aren't perfect, but focus on the meaning and feeling behind it. Get agreement that people share a sense of the why, even if the wording isn't 100% right. Have people share stories that validate and illustrate the why statement. Ask people to share stories of times they felt proud to work there or examples of colleagues who embody the why. Capture these on flip charts. Host a conversation of possibility where people brainstorm new opportunities and ideas aligned with the why statement. The rules are: all ideas must align with the why. People can build on each other's ideas but can't say no, won't work, or can't do that. First, have people brainstorm new systems, processes, or ways of working that align with the why. Then, have them brainstorm new products, services, or partnerships that align with the why. Capture the ideas on flip charts. The goal is to inspire new thinking by removing constraints. A conversation of possibility generates possibilities, but no commitments. The ideas aim to bring the why to life in new ways. Hearing the possibilities from other groups will inspire even more new thinking. The ideas can be as ambitious and big as possible. Nothing is off the table or impossible. The passage makes me feel optimistic and inspired about the potential for positive change in the organization, guided by a shared sense of purpose and vision. The why discovery process and conversation of possibility aim to tap into people's passion and motivation to advance the organization in new ways. Overall, it seems an empowering and energizing approach. The most inspiring part is giving people permission to think big without constraints or judgment. Removing the fear of commitment or obligation from brainstorming new ideas allows for true creativity and vision. Anchoring all thinking in the shared why statement also gives people a compass to ensure possibilities are aligned with what really matters. This balance of direction and openness is compelling. Ask for commitments from participants to be why champions, to keep the why alive by living it and sharing it with others. Also ask for commitments to take action on the possibilities identified. If the organization's hows, the specific actions taken to bring the why to life, have not yet been articulated, ask volunteers to explore this. The goal is for participants to start taking ownership of the why. Communicating your why helps you find kindred spirits, loyal clients, dedicated employees, partners, etc. For individuals and organizations, finding your why can reveal changes that need to be made. After discovering your why and hows, it's easier to see what's in and out of alignment. Don't make drastic changes immediately, let your why and how settle in first. Then start small and move forward confidently. To keep the why alive, communicate it and commit to living it with purpose every day. Otherwise, it can fade or be forgotten. When an organization's why goes fuzzy, it leads to decreased passion, lower productivity, less innovation, increased stress, etc. This is known as the split. Symptoms of the split include people saying it used to feel like a family here. Now it just feels like a job. Executives have to work to retain people. Eventually, trust and loyalty break down, performance suffers, and layoffs begin. The split can happen in any organization, even with a strong why-based culture, if it loses focus on why it does what it does. Ultimate Software prevents the split by aligning what they do with why they do it. Storytelling is a powerful way to keep your why alive, whether for an organization or individual. Stories share values and beliefs. Stories inspire. Stories are the source of your why and fuel to keep it alive. Companies that live their why encourage storytelling. Your why comes from your stories of feeling most fulfilled and being your best self. The more you act on your why, the more stories you'll gain. Share these stories. Deepen your relationship to your why and inspire you to keep going. In turn, you'll inspire others. Your why gives you a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Focusing on it will motivate you to push forward, even when things get difficult. And living according to your why will inspire others around you. Some key points. Your why comes from within you, not from external factors like your family. It's about how you feel and the impact you want to have. You have one why, your core purpose and passion. It may become clearer over time, but it does not fundamentally change. Everyone has a why. Some people are more willing to discover it than others. But if you are open and honest with yourself, you can find it. Your why is always aimed at serving others in a positive way. It leads to lasting fulfillment, not just temporary happiness. Your why does not need to sound unique. What matters is that it resonates with you and inspires you. The combination of your why and hows is what makes you unique. If your work does not align with your why, you have options. You can work to positively influence your environment, find a new job, or make the best of your current situation. The choice is up to you. The key message is to keep focusing on and refining your understanding of your why. Let it motivate and fulfill you. And express it in a way that inspires others. This can create positive change in yourself and those around you. Here is a summary of the key points. Your role as a partner is to actively listen and take notes. Do not give advice or solve problems. Actively listen by making eye contact, acknowledging what the other person says, and inviting them to say more. Pay attention to their facial expressions, tone of voice, and emotions. Take notes on these observations. Ask open-ended questions that cannot be answered with just yes or no. For example, ask, what is it about that story that really matters to you? Avoid starting questions with why. Sit in silence if the other person struggles to answer a question. Give them time to find the right words. Emotions can be hard to articulate. Look for the silver lining or lesson in stories, even if the story is sad. Try to see what the story reveals about the person and their potential why. Your role is not to be a therapist, mentor, advice giver, or problem solver. You are there to listen and take notes. Pay attention to recurring ideas, words, phrases, and themes. These will help identify the person's why. Read Chapter 3 of Start with Why for more details on facilitating an individual why discovery. The key is to listen without judgment, ask thoughtful questions, allow silence, look beneath the surface of stories for meaning, and take good notes. Your role is to guide the other person to discover their own why, not tell them what you think it is. With your support, they can gain valuable insight into what really motivates and inspires them. Here is a summary of the facilitator tips. Keep the details of the workshop confidential until you are ready to facilitate the conversations. If participants know in advance what they will discuss, they will overthink it. Take control of participants who dominate the conversation or story hogs. Gently encourage others who haven't spoken up to contribute their stories. Dig deeper into stories that evoke emotion. Ask follow-up questions to better understand the feeling and meaning. Avoid questions that start with why. It is easier for people to answer questions starting with what or how. Avoid getting stuck in semantic debates about word choice. Remind participants that the general feeling a story evokes is more important than dictionary definitions. Focus participants on how their organization does business rather than what business they do. The difference between them and competitors is in the how, not the what. Ensure enough time, at least 4 hours, for an effective workshop. Push back if less time is suggested. Ensure the right setting, enough space for small groups, snacks, quiet and private, tables and chairs arranged appropriately, flip charts and supplies. Express gratitude for the early adopters, organizations, and individuals who participated in workshops to help develop the methods. Although diverse, they were willing to go first. Thank the team, including editors, designers, organizers, and colleagues, who provided feedback and input to shape the ideas and bring the book to life. Specifically thank Jen Hallam, the editor, and Judy Coyne, who blended 3 voices into one. Also thank designers Farah Assur and Eleanor Thompson. Thank Monique Hellstrom and Molly Strong for helping to coordinate schedules and logistics. Thank friends and colleagues who provided feedback and testing, including Ronit Friedman, Sharon Mass, Karen Peled, Margaret Allgood, Alethea Silkett, Cheryl Bryce, Michael Redding, and Jeffrey Baruin. Express special thanks for Kim Harrison, who guides the Start with Why team and without whom none of this would have been possible.